Okay, it's Toby from Heavyweight MMA, today with MMA Fighter Mannu. How are you, man?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks, Toby. Thanks for having me on.
Man, the first thing that springs to mind when I see you is your last fight. I'm sure you've had to talk to a lot of people about it, but Imran Hekimoglu, bro. Fighting him, it was a pretty good one, man. It's good to see the good guy win, you know?
Yeah. I thought that's where this interview might start. It was good to get the win. And yeah, just after all the lead up and get lots of new fans. So it's put me in a good position for this one. Have another good performance here, another good win. Hopefully get the finish this time, and we'll just keep skyrocketing up.
Yeah, bro. So that Imran won, bro. The only problem, which I think you've kind of alluded to in one of the interviews I listened to, is that you would have liked to have got a finish, right? You would have liked to have taken it that one step further and got a finish, yeah?
Yeah. Look, I would have rather had a late finish. Like if I got him out there really early and I didn't have the chance to kind of like let him wear his steam out and break him, because he talked a lot about how I have no mentality and how he's going to be too strong for me and he's going to break me with the wrestling. So I'm glad I got to show like the wrestling and the top game and to wear him down over the fight, as opposed to a first round finish. But yeah, if I could put it on the gas a bit and got him out of there late, it would have topped it off perfectly.
To be honest, bro, I was actually pretty impressed with his 2 minutes of effort that he put in before he got worn out. I thought he was doing pretty good, like, because I don't know, I had my doubts, man, and he showed that he's a fighter. He's good, but he's just eventually ran over him with your continuous pursuit of the win, bro.
Yeah. Like, look, he has some wrestling skills and grappling skills, and prior to my fight, he was on a 3-fight win streak. I think they were all first round finishes. So kind of he just comes out hard from the gate and tries to use his grappling and look for the finish. I was prepared for it. He couldn't run through me like the other guys, and then he was stuck in a real fight.
Yeah. When I first saw him come onto the scene, I looked him up, and you look up photos, and back in the old days, he looked like Elvis or something. He had like this cool Elvis haircut, no beard, looked sweet, man, and winning some arm wrestling championships and stuff. And then he turned into Comes Up, bro, and then all the Mountain Man stuff came out. So it was it was good to see him humbled. Let's hope he comes back stronger. We'll see how we go.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, bro. So moving on to your fight coming up, bro. Obviously, it's a big one. We've got Hex Fight Series 29, 2nd of March, against Colby Thicknesse at bantamweight, man. It's a good fight, man. Two strong fighters. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. It's a fight that really excites me when I had the offer. Because I know an opponent like this is going to make me bring all my skills out. Is obviously a very like promising up and comer. He's got a lot of hype, and rightfully so. So if I can go out there, show all my skills and put on a good performance, I'm going to take all the hype, and that's the plan.
Yeah, man. I mean, people have been talking about Colby for a long time, that he's a potential star, in the making, training obviously at Freestyle MMA with a lot of good guys, including Volk himself, one of his main training partners. So we're expecting a lot. People are expecting a lot from Colby, So it's up to you, I guess, to try and stop the hype train, right? And again, take some more followers.
Yeah, that's it. Like the way I kind of like see this fight in my head is like one of the biggest up and comers in the scene, fighting like the biggest dark horse in the scene. That's how I see myself. So put a good performance on here. Like now, people are starting to recognize me in the scene, but really a good win here is what's going to get all the eyes onto me.
The good thing about this fight, man, two highly skilled guys, and both the nice guys too, man. Like the personality is a good man. Like it's not going to be someone being a full wanker this time. So you can, we can kind of have a skill display, between you two guys, rather than thinking about like all this other bullshit again,
Yeah, it'd be good to just have our skills do the talking, for sure. for sure.
That's it. How do you see Colby as an opponent, bro? Like, what do you think are his kind of strengths and weaknesses?
I'd say his grappling's very strong overall, and it's very diverse. So, you know, some people, they're very good wrestlers. Maybe their jiu-jitsu's not super good, or maybe their jiu-jitsu's good. Their wrestling's like his good MMA specific grappling on the cage with his ground and pound. His jiu-jitsu's good. And his wrestling's good. So his grappling's good, and he's kind of got a high pace style and grinds with the grappling. So yeah, that's what I'd say his strengths are. His striking's quite good as well, and he mixes his striking in well with his grappling game. So he will like fake the takedown to set up his strikes. He'll use his like footwork, bait people in and mix up with the shoots, and then use the striking to set up his shoots as well. So good. Yeah, he's a very solid fighter. In terms of weaknesses, obviously, like I've got game plan stuff I'm not really going to give away, but he has been hit in his past fights. He has had some adversity, and yeah, I think I can capitalize on the weaknesses and any cracks in the armor I'll exploit.
Yeah, true, man. What do you think about like in the stand-up, bro? I would say you're slightly more orthodox. I would say Colby's a little bit more unorthodox. The angle he cuts and the shot selection's a little bit different than your orthodox, fighter. What do you think?
Yeah, he moves his feet. He does move his feet a lot, and yeah, kind of moves his feet and gets people to chase, and then he'll change up and he'll come forward with a combination, or then he'll shoot. So he's got a few tricks with the footwork, and you know he hasn't fought in a year or so as well, and I know he would have been adding some new things. So, but I'm not too interested in just seeing what he's going to do. I'm there to impose my will and my game plan and my skills as well.
That's got to be something too, right? Like from memory, I can't remember exactly, but I think Colby hasn't fought. Was it the end of 22 or something? So it's been quite a while, at least a year, man, that he hasn't fought, right? But
yeah,
so that's got to be an advantage, right?
Yeah, fortunately for me, I've been able to stay active, and I've had two fights that have gone the distance as well. My last two, and yeah, I've been fighting like every 3 months. I fought on the last two Hex shows, fighting on this one, and just racking up fight experience. Again, I would have loved the finish in these fights, but the positive is I've had 30 minutes cage experience in the last few months. The fight feeling's fresh. A 3-round fight feels fresh. So yeah, I'm very confident going in there that I'll feel real comfortable in there in the fight.
Nice, man. The other fight before that you mentioned, that was with Shane Parker, right? How was that fight? It was a pretty close one, right?
Yeah, it was pretty close. That was my first fight. I had after a year layoff, coming off a loss. I felt a lot of pressure in the fight. If I'm honest, mentally going into the fight, it's probably the worst I've ever felt going into a pro fight. So in some ways, I'm kind of proud of myself considering how I felt going in. I was able to like dig and find the win. I was a bit timid in the first round, but I think I definitely took rounds 2 and 3. And yeah, did what I had to do to win. Then the Imran fight brought out a bit more of my skills, and now this fight we're going to see me bring out even more skills again, and just getting comfortable in the cage, getting that cage experience. Yeah, it's about trying to bring what you do in the gym into the fight, and if I can do that, yeah, I reckon I'll put on a real impressive performance and get a real impressive win.
Yeah, man. Hey, you mentioned mental edge or mental issues getting into that Shane Parker fight. What are you referring to, and what sort of way?
I just felt like very like unfamiliar being in a fight again. Obviously, like have hard sparring in the training prep for the fights, to kind of, you know, get you acclimated to the fight feeling. But even with that, it felt very foreign, felt very strange. I actually felt very good that whole week, and then I was driving to the venue, and yeah, I just felt like terrible. Like it felt like the fight was just so foreign. But yes, I pulled it together. I was able to get the win, and now I've fought 30 minutes since. Been active, been on the last 2 Hex shows, so it's all feeling good now.
Nice, that's good, man. It's good to hear. I mean, the more you do it, the easier it's going to get, right?
Yeah, that's it. Or the more comfortable I'll be in there. It's alright if it's not easy. It's alright if it's not easy, but I'm familiar, like I'm switched on. I know what I'm doing in there.
Yeah, good. Man, I wanted to ask about your background a bit and your start as well. I couldn't find anything on it. So your name, firstly, bro, Mannu, where's that name from?
Mannu, so it's made up, so it throws a lot of people off. So I'm half Macedonian, half Maltese. So the Mannu is my dad's side. All the other relatives on my dad's side is Manov. So half Macedonian, half Maltese is my background.
Okay, nice, bro. Mixed up. So how did you kick off in fighting, bro? Like, when was your first step into any sort of combat sports?
Growing up, I just did martial arts, but like self-defense. I was doing karate, and my karate coach, Neil, he's actually a purple belt at Dominance, where I train now. And he's did a little bit of boxing, kickboxing. So he'd teach me karate, but he'd also show a bit of jiu-jitsu, a bit of boxing, kickboxing. And I trained with him just throughout childhood, from year 4 to year 11. My parents took me out in year 12 to focus on studies. And then as soon as I finished high school, I went just to training Dominance at full time, with the intention of fighting. I was watching UFC a lot growing up, and it was something I wanted to do, be a fighter, since I was about 13. So went to Dominance, started just training like double sessions every day, and went straight into fighting. Had my amateur debut when I was 18, had 4 amateur fights, and then turned pro when I was 20. And now, obviously there was the lockdowns, which kind of took a few years off, but 10 fights into my pro career now, going into my 11th. So feeling good, lots of experience now. And I think it's my time to have a real run at this sport, try my hardest with it.
Yeah, so how's your training broken down between like stand-up, BJJ, wrestling? Do you break it down, or you just train specific MMA?
So both. So I'll do with my coach Trail, I'll do like MMA specific drills, MMA striking drills, like MMA grappling. I do jiu-jitsu, a lot of Dominance. It's a very strong jiu-jitsu team, so I get a lot of jiu-jitsu there. Do wrestling there, do wrestling privates with the coach, and I do my pad work. And then, strength and conditioning I'll do twice a week. I'll do some sprints as well. So it's funny with MMA, I always say, like, just to tick all the boxes off, you got to be overtraining, basically, because there's so many things you need to do. You need to get your pad work in, your strength and conditioning, and you need to do enough of it as well. Like, if you're doing jiu-jitsu once a week, or you're doing strength and conditioning once a week, you're not going to get any gains from it. So you need to be doing these things multiple times a week, and then you need to be doing so many different things to MMA, where you just gonna be training day in, day out, like hours on end. So but I love
it. Crazy, right? The requirements are crazy, and just the pressure on your guys' bodies, bro, just to pump out multiple sessions day to day. every single day, sometimes get a bit of a rest, but generally, 6 to 7 days a week. It's hectic. Like there's so much chance of injury and failure and everything, bro. It's just a pressure job, man.
Yeah. And yeah, you see it a lot. Like, man, how many fights get pulled because people get injured? Because it's just brutal what you got to do to improve and train enough to compete in the sport.
Yeah, it's a tough one, man. And you hear most top level fighters saying they never go into a fight without some sort of injury, even if it's just a small one. They have something, right? So
yeah, that's the thing. And whenever I get little things training for a fight, and you start getting a bit like on edge about it, a bit anxious about it, I just like remind myself they're going through all the same thing. Like they have a sore toe, whatever, sore knee. Like it happens to everyone, and if they don't, they're not training hard enough. So it's something that you just kind of have to manage, and obviously, like you gotta train smart as well. And there's a lot of injury prevention you can do just by training smart and having your body condition enough. But part of it is always going to be little injuries, and you just got to manage it, be on top of it, and know like your opponent has to deal with the same thing.
All those talking about recovery, bro. Everyone's got different things they do nowadays: sauna, ice bath, sleep, everything.
Yeah.
What's your sort of keys to recovery?
Yeah, well, actually, my housemate just got a little ice bath over Christmas, so I've been using that a bit for recovery. So that's been helping. I'll go get massages. Sometimes I'll do like float tanks as well, which I only started doing when I came back and had the Parker fight, and I love it. I love it. So I think I'll get one in before this fight, even over the weekend.
Nice. Bro, Dominance, your gym that you're at, man, can you tell us about Dominance? What's it like as a gym? What does it have? Like, what's the sort of feeling in there, the vibe, and what do they focus on?
Yeah. Okay. So Dominance, it's a pretty like big, like pretty established gym in Melbourne, especially like for the jiu-jitsu in particular. Our competition team that we always do good. We always place amongst the highest ones in like the big competitions. And we got some amateurs coming up. So I actually coach at Dominance as well. So I help run the MMA program there. I actually have some amateurs fighting tomorrow on the Ascension, so I'm going to go corner for that. The MMA's picking up, so that the amateur team's growing. We had a lot of guys in there last year, but we're going to have a lot more this year. I'm keen to see how these guys go. So the team's really picking up MMA wise, and for years the jiu-jitsu's just been like very high level.
Bro, speaking of jiu-jitsu, what happened with those darces, bro, with Hekimoglu? Why we didn't see a finish with the darces, bro? You look like you had it, but I'm not skilled enough to know what was the inches that we had to change to get those chokes. Yeah,
so the first one was very tight. I had his smaller arm in there, and because the darce is a head arm choke. His shoulder's cutting off one of his arteries, and the bony part of my wrist is cutting off the other artery. But because his arm was small and the shoulder was small, it gave him space in that lock where he can get a bit of air. So I couldn't put him to sleep, I think, having the darce on that side. And then the one I had in the second round, I had on the big arm, and I'm like, all right, I got this. And I thought, I get darces heaps in training. It's what I'm known for. Like I'll get everyone with it. There's people better than me in the gym. They might be able to sum me with like 10 different things, but I can always have that chance of getting them with the darce. And the second time I had it in, and I always thought in MMA, it'll be good getting a darce near the cage, because usually the defense, people start walking away from you because you're trying to walk in close and get your hips close to their hips and crunch them up. And they're trying to walk away. And I thought, okay, well, if the cage is there, it's going to block him from being able to walk away from me. But I had the darce in, and Emran, he climbed up the cage with his feet to get back to his knees. And then I lost the angle on it, so I bailed on it and spun around like to the side of turtle. So I think, I need to watch out for the cage climb, and if my opponents have a skinnier arm to defend the darce. So I think maybe trying to go for the darce and mounting with it. That's what I'm thinking. MMA will probably be best.
How was it, bro? Like, did your arms gas out? Because you're holding the first one, especially for a long time, right?
On the first one, it did. Yeah, on the first one, it did. The second one, I bailed on it. When he came up to his knees, I bailed on it because I felt the angle change, and I knew I'm gonna have to go like switch my attack up now. Like if I just put juice into this squeeze, I'm gonna squeeze my arms out again. The first one, it's funny. Then my kicks were faster than my punches after my arms were squeezed out. It's like my arms are tired, but fitness wise. Fitness wise and like leg wise, everything felt good, but my arms were like just dead for a little bit.
That's good. You look pretty good afterwards, man. I mean, you went for the second one, so it shows you recovery is good.
Yeah.
And bro, I heard you mention about Aaron Toe as a potential opponent in New Zealand, bro. That's a big call. I think he struggles to get people that actually want to fight him, so I'm sure he'd be happy to hear the challenge.
Yeah, cool. So that'd be good. Obviously, the way what I'm seeing right now is this fight, win this fight. It's number one contenders fight. I get a shot at the belt next. The winner of Haddon and Loga. And I'm taking it one fight at a time. After I do that, get the belt, and then we'll go from there. But yeah, there's lots of exciting fights to make. The New Zealand scene is strong as well, and people don't really realize. That's why I think it's good. Hex is going there for the next event. Just the Australia New Zealand scene since the lockdowns is just full of talent, and it's interesting to see not even just my div, but the other divs, just watching the contenders like rise and fall and seeing how everything plays out. It's awesome.
Yeah, bro. If you were to, it sounds like it's not really in the picture now, but if you went over, like you were saying before, like straight away into that New Zealand card, it'd be hectic. The crowd there will be full Aaron Toe supporters, bro. He'd be doing his haka as he comes out or something. There'd be this hectic adversity to face the crowd, bro. But it'd be fun. It'd be fun, you know?
Yeah, look, I'm no stranger to hostile crowds. I had I had most of my pro fights actually interstate. Obviously, now this fight on Hex and the last two all in Melbourne, which is good. But prior to this, I only had one pro fight in Melbourne. I fought in Perth twice versus a hometown guys. I fought in Brisbane versus a hometown guy, and I fought in Adelaide 3 times versus a hometown guy. So now it's actually like when I hear the crowd cheering for me, it's like, and hearing people like familiar people supporting me in the crowd, it feels weird because I'm just used to the hostile crowds. But I'll be getting more used to it.
Do you hear much, bro? Do you hear much from the crowd? Because I remember, like back in the day, bro, hearing like people I knew when they yell something, I can pick out their voice amongst the crowd, bro. Do you hear much?
Yeah, like when I'm walking out, I can. In the cage, all I can really hear is like my corner and their corner, and then like the ref.
2nd of March, Hex Fight Series 29 versus Colby Thicknesse, man. What's your prediction for the fight?
My prediction is it's a loose prediction, but it's me getting the finish and me putting an impressive performance from start to end and ending it with a finish, whether it's on the feet or on the ground.
Nice, man. I've got to sit on the fence on this one. I've known Colby for some time. You both seem like nice guys, so I just look forward to a good fight, man. But I'll be supporting from over here in Macau, China. Thanks for your time, bro.
Yeah, awesome. I appreciate it. Appreciate the chat. I hope you enjoy the fight.
Cool, I will do, bro. Thanks, man.